Quick Snap is presented by FWF, dependable solutions for the pros since 1866.
Dude, that was tight. All right, we'll cut that. All right, welcome. All right, here we go.
We're not cutting that.
What is this, episode 14?
14.
Welcome to episode 14 of the Quick Snap podcast. The two toughest podcasters in New England, sleeting, snow.
Oh, yeah.
Put your shit on and go to work. Here we are. But first, before we get into it today, we got a little special treat. You know, it was the My Cause, My Cleat game last night. We're both washed up, couch quarterbacks now, or centers, but we're still part of the My Cause, My Cleats. Today we're supporting the Patriots program. It's an initiative between Dana Kraft, the Kraft family, and the Patriots organization, to really get fine dogs a home, a loving home in shelters. And we supported this event a couple months ago. They had the tailgate. We talked about it and did that, and we still got our My Claws, My Cleats on, or tennis shoes, I guess, now. And
there we go.
It's a great initiative the team's doing. I know it means a lot to you. Tell them a little bit about what they can find and what's going on with it.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are dog guys, unlike Danny Healy, our producer.
Never said that, putting words in my mouth.
You said you're not a dog
Made your
person.
girlfriend get rid of her cat.
That's right.
That's not a dog, is
anyways,
it? I'm allergic.
Back to important issues. We, obviously, you and I both have dogs. Is something that we care deeply about. For me, when I was a player, My Cause, My Cleats, I would support the MSPCA. I've adopted dogs from there. And when Dr. Dana Kraft established the Patriots, we went down to the adoption tailgate. And they now have a new initiative. It's called the MVP, and it means not for Drake Maye. It's most valuable pup. And what you can do is you can go to patriots.com/Patriots, and you can make a donation and send in a photo of your dog, and it'll be shown on the video board, I think, in the first time out of the first quarter. So it's something I'm going to be doing with my 4 boxers. They actually were able to paint. I mean, incredible painting job. All 4 of them on these shoes.
Love it.
I'm assuming that they're going to auction these shoes off, maybe. So maybe a chance to do that. But really glad to. There we got a shot of David's shoes.
Yeah,
really glad to be a part of it and this initiative, and go check it out.
David?
Patriots.com/Patriots.
Yeah, size 15, Danny. Go check out the link, see what the Patriots are doing. A lot of cool stuff, something obviously we can get behind, excited to get behind. But let's get into the real reason we're here, Hoy. Monday Night Football, another big win. I don't know about you, Hoy. My biggest takeaway from this game was how the team played overall, right? Mm-hmm. It was physical. It was dominant. It started fast. It felt like a game where if they lost, people would have made excuses for them. If they, won by 3 points in a tight game, people would have been like, oh, the injuries, bye week coming up. Like there was just, you had all these excuses you could have made for this football team to have a, lackluster performance. And that's not what happened at all. Come out. Big kickoff return to start the game. Go down there, get 3. Defense comes up with a stop. Christian Elliss flying around, taking people's heads off. Marcus Jones blows open the game with the punt return. You go down there and score. Then you get the fumble on the kick return. Another big hit by Christian Elliss. Go down there and score. Like the ball was rolling. To me, they could have finished the game a little bit better. In one area of that I'm critical in is the red area for the team right now, but it just was a game, and I felt like in all 3 phases that was dominant. And to me, that feels like the teams we were played on when we were rolling, where you came to New England, and sure, we did have Tom Brady, who's the best to ever do it, but you felt like you had to defend every blade of grass. You know what I mean? Like, you had to defend different receivers, the tight end, the running back, the run game, whatever it may be on that side. Then you got the defense, and you had to defend the pass rush, the linebackers, safeties, smart players, and then you always had the special teams threat. Guys like Slater, Abner, like it was chaos for coming in, and that's what this game felt like to me. And for a team that could have limped into the bye week and everyone would have given them a pass, they just kicked down the door, ran through it, stormed the beaches. To me, that was awesome. It showed a lot of maturity.
Dude, I loved it. I mean, it was a different feel. You and I were both there for the Thursday night game where it kind of got off to a slow start. Last night, and we say this every week. I love that we get to peek inside the post game speeches by the coaches, players, whatever. And Vrabel, it hit me really right off the bat when you saw him. He goes, "You chose to be aggressive."
Yeah,
that is. I felt that from the opening drive to the hit on Jaxson Dart. I don't know if I've seen in 15 years of playing, being at games, I don't think I've seen a hit like that in person. And it was crazy because they're going to defend their quarterback, and then you're looking, I'm like, that was a legal hit. And these young quarterbacks, Jaxson Dart's fun to watch, but these guys gotta understand. And Drake's understood this, right? He's realized like it's my responsibility to protect myself. And so that hit by Elliss set the tone for the rest of the night. And then you mentioned it, you get the punt return by Marcus Jones, who, man, I'm so happy for him. You and I played with him. He was a young guy trying to find his way. What's his position? A little bit of offense here and there. Obviously a special teams threat. I still think he's one of the best nickels in the game, and he's always a threat to take it to the house when he's returning punts. So there was so much to be excited about. And I think you're right. I think the mindset that they brought, I think they were a little disappointed with how they played in Cincinnati.
I agree.
You could almost feel it coming from them. And we even talked about it last week, Thanksgiving week. Yeah, we've been there before. Like, what would Bill say? Put it in the drawer. It's a holiday week. Like all of those things. You lost your left tackle and your left guard. Like it could be a big excuse week, right? And they came out and said, screw that. We're going to come out and play our football. And you're right. It wasn't perfect. You couldn't finish in the red zone a few times. There was some. You gave up some plays on defense, but the reality was they were in control of the entire game because of the way they came out with that mentality of aggressiveness. And there's so many positives about this team. I really believe when you mentioned those teams that we were on. And I watched a lot of football this weekend because it was Thanksgiving. You watched those games. Black Friday, watched that game. Didn't have anything to do on Sunday, watched those games. I don't think there's a team in the league that's as much of a complete team as what the Patriots are. They may not have the star power. They may not have, the strength of schedule that everyone wants to whine about. Danny, and all of those things. But when I watch them play, I don't see a weakness, and not because of a certain player, it's because of the team. And I think you and I would agree. And look, we had Tom and we had Gronk and we had McCourty and all those guys, but really what all that was together was a team that played like it. And man, you see Jelani break down the team after the game, like they rallied around him. Yep. They are as close of a team that I've seen, at least from peering into post-game celebrations around the league and things like that. And, Harold Landry's hit on it, Milton Williams hit on it, guys who haven't been in New England before. It's the tightest locker room they have. And, I think Sarah was wondering, how does that translate on the field? And I would say, and you could talk about it because you're part of a unit on the field. I'm, the quarterback, like, when you are close in the locker room, you're going to go the extra inch. You're going to go the extra rep. You're going to do all of those things for the guys around you. And that's what I see when they play on the field. And they celebrate each other and they fly around. And to me, it looks like they're having fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to be winning and having fun is something that's pretty cool to watch, especially how quickly they've gotten there.
Yeah, I think when you talk about how does close-knit translate to on the field, I think it's a few different things. One, it eliminates finger pointing, right? Because it's very easy to go into a game, right? And like the Steelers game, right? Why did we lose that game? Five turnovers on the offense. So it's very easy for the defense to be like, well, we would have won if you guys didn't turn over the ball. Or the quarterback, let's say this Kyle Williams touchdown last night was to win the game. Yeah. And he dropped it. Yep. It's very easy for the whole team to be like, well, if you had caught the ball, when you're not close like that, that's where that stuff comes.
And I'll interject because I was on teams like that were not in New England. It was like when things didn't go well, it started to be little groups in the corner of the locker room pointing at other little groups in the locker room, and I never felt that in New England.
Yeah, so that's one thing. And then two, you kind of hit on it, like when you got a close-knit group, you're willing to do whatever it takes for each other to win. Mm-hmm. And I think you see that. Let's talk about because people like to put receivers as the prima donnas, right?
Sure.
Let's put it on the receiver room. Like, these dudes celebrate for each other.
Yeah.
It was a game last night where who was even our leading receiver?
I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say Hunter, but I don't know.
But
It was Hunter.
It was one
Hunter
of
with
those
73 yards.
It was one of those games where it's like everyone's getting 3 to 4 touches and eating and doing good, and they're
I was
all
excited to see Kyle Williams come out. That was a huge play.
yeah, they're all happy for each other. That's where that stuff translates, and you don't care about who gets the credit.
Yeah.
You're just focused on winning. And
it is a throwback mentality a little bit in this day and age when everyone's worried about their brand and their success. And I always think back to what Bill would say, like, winning is good for everyone, not just the guys here, your families, your friends. Winning, it trickles down and it's good for everyone. And so I think they're reaping the rewards of that, and they're having fun while doing it.
And what happens when you win? You get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens. So, and look, everyone has different reasons why you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I'll never forget, maybe my second to third year in the league, and it started to hit me like, this is how I'm going to provide for my family.
Yeah.
Like, you came in, especially being undrafted, right? You come in the league undrafted, you're just
you're
like,
a little bit behind.
you're
behind
just
the
like,
eight ball compared
yeah,
to
like,
some
let
other
me
guys.
try to, like,
Right.
delay having to go sell insurance for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, you're just
Do you
trying.
need a college degree to sell insurance, or?
Why you have to?
Wow, Brian, that's real low, man.
Yeah, why you got to put my business on there?
That's real low, man.
There's still time for you.
But that to me, and then it kind of hits you, which I'm sure you probably felt at one point, like, oh man, like, this is how I'm going to make a living. And so it is good for everyone. One thing I want to talk about, this Jaxson dart hit, there was a couple of things. One, did you see the clip of the Mannings watching it?
Oh, yeah.
They don't say much. Their facial expressions are unreal. So if you haven't checked that out, go look that up on Twitter or social media. But then I thought the team did a great job because, right, anytime a melee like that happens, what are you supposed to do? Protect your team.
Yeah, well, I think we should give the people the 3 points that we were always taught. Now, I was never involved. This applied more to you.
Yeah.
What are the 3 points?
So it was always protect your teammates.
Yep.
Protect yourself. Don't throw a punch.
Never throw a punch.
And I thought the team did a great job of that. That could have easily gotten very out of hand on their side. Different if it was on the Patriots sideline. Right. But on their sideline, on their bench, you saw Christian Elliss is like getting thrown around. He's just like,
he was like, what?
Yeah, they got the flag.
They did.
You see your team, the Patriots, go over there. They're breaking it up.
Yep.
No one got a flag. I thought that showed a lot of maturity.
100%.
I think it was a very selfish play by Jaxson Dart for a lot of different reasons. One, it ended up hurting your football team because you act like an asshole. Go to the I don't blame the Giants. The Giants have if the Giants didn't react how they reacted, then it's a problem, I think. So you put your team in a bad position, get a penalty, and then it was second down. It's second down. You've gotten 8 yards. Get down, get out of bounds, and it's 3rd and 2, first quarter. Mm-hmm. If they were down 3, he's getting into field goal range. I'd have been like, you got to do it. Fourth quarter, 2-minute drive. You got to get what you can, and sometimes that's what happens. But and then on top of that, I don't know if he really understands that he is the franchise.
Yeah.
You are everyone's meal ticket. And let's say, for instance, this year, right? Let's say Josh comes in and Drake has a terrible year. Who's getting fired, Drake Maye or Josh McDaniels?
Well, I want to point this out. A lot of people said the reason Daboll was fired, other than not being able to win those close games, was Jaxson Dart was in harm's way. Well, Daboll's been gone for, 2 weeks now? Yeah. That didn't change the way Jaxson Dart played. I mean, he wanted to tiptoe around that sideline. So it is and Tom Brady has a lot of people want to ask him, what are your thoughts about young quarterbacks? He goes, these guys don't understand that it's ultimately their responsibility to protect themselves. Yeah. And that was a blatant disregard of I'll just tiptoe over here. I ain't going to get hit. And I thought Elliss, they asked him about after the game, his response, he's like, my job is to hit anything between the whites. Yeah. And he was tiptoeing along that sideline. And I'll say this, Jaxson Dart's that's a thick boy.
Yeah.
It's not Jaden Daniels. And to deliver that hit and hit him 6 yards into the sideline, it was so impressive.
He looked like a frisbee going through the air.
Did.
And look, and I say that part of me loves the way Jaxson Dart plays and respects it, but like you got to understand you're not in college anymore, and whether you hate it or love it, same thing with Drake. Like you are the face of the franchise now, and you are everyone's meal ticket, and that's a lot of pressure, and it's sometimes hard for young guys to understand that in that position. That's not the way as an undrafted quarterback or center coming into the league, right?
Well, and I think it shows. On the flip side, it shows Drake's maturity of understanding that, and you can see it. It's a conscious. It's in the back of his mind at all times when he's carrying the football, and he's more quickly ready to slide, get down, throw it away than he's ever been before. And I think that's like we always say it: availability is better than ability, because you could be Drake Maye, and if Drake was playing like Jaxson Dart and putting himself in harm's way. I don't know if we get to where we're at right now. No. And Josh Dobbs, he did a great job filling in. That one time he had to fill in, what was that, in Tampa?
No.
Tampa, right?
Titans. Third down. He goes in there.
But dude, Drake Maye is the MVP favorite right now. And if he hadn't learned how to take care of himself, and maybe Jaxson Dart will learn, I don't know if we're sitting here at 11-2 and him as the front runner of the MVP.
No, and look, I think it puts defenders in a bad position. When a quarterback goes down the sideline and tiptoes like that, what do you want the defender? Like, I'm so glad. It goes back to the Tampa hit when I came in here and said I was glad they didn't throw I don't want to see Drake Maye take that shot, but, like, that's football. So Christian Elliss came up big, obviously, and then, I thought with the O-line, obviously, Bradbury, was announced yesterday morning. He's dealing with the illness. I said on pregame radio that, I suspected him to play, enough time to get some IVs. Thought he showed a lot of mental toughness. Hats off to him. Thought the left side did a good job. That's a good D-line. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if it was intentional or not. You notice where the first play went?
To the left.
To the left. Get those guys. And look, this just kind of goes back to this whole, us loving Josh, which, is we are homers on that. I'll say it.
For
good reason.
Good reason, yeah.
But that's Josh getting those guys in a rhythm. Let's get them firing off the ball. Let's get these guys going. They did a great job. It was like a 4 or 5 yard run, started fast like that. I thought overall, for whatever reason, maybe statistically the run game wasn't the best. It was the best run game this team's had. They were consistent in the running game. You saw a lot more, you talk about Tampa, which we said, like, you can't.
Yeah, you didn't have the 80-yarders.
Yeah, you had, 120 yards on basically 2 plays. Yeah. You can't take away from that, but, you didn't have one of those this week, but you had consistent 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. There was back-to-back plays of Henderson running for first downs on 1st and 10.
Yeah, and you didn't see a lot of backwards or
no,
zero
yards. There was in the fourth quarter, they ran duo to the left.
Yep.
They blitzed off the backside. What does that make the D-line do? They pirate, right? Anytime there's pressure, there's a reaction. Yep. So, they pirate, wash down that left side. Henderson, we talked about his patience, his vision gets better. He sees that, cuts right behind the blitzer. It was a big run late in the game. And talking about everyone being physical, there was a play late in the game. We ran a toss to the right, Morgan Moses pulls, right? This dude touched 3 people. Everyone fell. Like, he hit 3 different people on the play.
Yeah.
Everyone fell. Like, I love that, warmed my heart. We talked a little bit about that. To me, the one area of concern we kind of hit on a little earlier, they had a 3rd and 1 late in the game. They got blown up, lost 5 yards. That created the 4th and 6 where we hit Diggs on the little hitch route, which Diggs, the quarterback and him have a great rapport.
Yeah.
You see him sitting down in the zone. But, that in the low red area, running the football, it still concerns me with this team. Yep. It's still an area I didn't think was great. And as much as I love the fade to Booty down there on like the 6 yard line or whatever it was, I wanted to see him line up and run the football.
But that's one of those things, and who's done a lot of that this year is Matthew Stafford and the Rams, and what it is, and it's an RPO.
Yeah.
It's not the RPO that people are used to seeing where you stick it in and you're reading an end or you're reading the linebacker. It's, hey, Drake, we're running probably gap to the left. But if you feel like it's Booty one-on-one and you want to give him a chance, go ahead. And I love it because
no, it was a great play,
that's a great
catch.
timing throw and giving your guy a chance. And to get Booty back involved, he missed a few weeks. Get him in there, threw the ball into the stands, got the crowd going. I loved it.
That's a FedEx.
It is a FedEx,
but he's probably going to get a little chunk of change here coming up.
Yeah, that's right.
But just great game. A lot of people making big plays. Hunter Henry, big plays. Hit him early on that flag route.
Dude, how about at the end of the game, Drake throws the touchdown pass to him. It's going to get Drake over 300 yards.
Can we get set? Everybody get set.
It was one of the linemen, right? And he decided to put his hand down.
I'm telling you, you want to watch Dante Scarnecchia blood pressure rise, get up there. So this is the thing. Offensive tackles, right? They're very finicky. And this isn't an indictment on Morgan Moses because I played with a lot of tackles and I know this to be the case. When they get in their 2-point stances, they're very finicky. They want to get their feet right. So he's trying to do that. And it is hard. The quarterback needs to make sure everyone's set, right? That's a big thing. But, when he looks up and looks like everyone's set, that he's going.
Well, I always said at the quarterback position, I can't look at each individual person and I'm looking at their upper body. And if their upper body's not moving, I'm assuming we're good to go. Yeah. And so I got burned on that a few times.
Dante, oh my gosh, Dante would lose his mind. It didn't bother me because as a center, you're the first one set. You got to get set so everyone else can get set off of you.
Yep.
But the tackles can get finicky about their stances. So that's what happened on that play. But you're right. I don't think this kid's ever going to get. I don't think he is, and I don't.
He's
care.
still probably going to win the MVP.
I don't care.
Yep.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Since you just said that,
go ahead. I know we already talked about this.
No, this is new.
Okay.
I don't want him to win the MVP.
Really?
I've been part of one MVP season.
I know which one it was. We lost.
I played an MVP. I won.
So you think it's a curse?
I think it's like the Madden curse, dog. Give it to Stafford.
Danny, look it up. When's the last time the MVP
Give it
won
to Stafford. Let Stafford have it.
I hear you out.
And then let's just play a little game, right? The team is in San Francisco, right? The awards are on what, Thursday?
Yeah, it's in this.
It's on Thursday, Thursday or Friday before the Super Bowl.
Before the Super Bowl, yeah. Who did? Mahomes.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. But so let's just play another scenario in my mind. Let's daydream. We're in the Super Bowl, right? They give it to Stafford.
Yeah. Or you're saying they're playing Stafford in the Super Bowl?
Who cares who they're playing? But they give it to Stafford.
Yep.
You don't think that team's a little pissed off?
Oh, yeah.
Little edge. I don't know, man. I don't know. I like that better.
Were you like, we're definitely going to win?
I knew Tom had never won a Super Bowl when he was an MVP.
So you were worried.
I mean, I wasn't worried.
He did throw for 500 yards in the Super Bowl.
He did play on
Dude, that was one of those nights, and maybe we should save it if there's another legendary moment. But when there are pitchers throwing a no-hitter and everyone just stays away from them?
Yeah.
That was I'd never seen Tom like that before. He came over to the sideline and basically was just so locked in. It was like he was out of his body.
We played really well.
He did.
We did. So that's my take on his MVP.
Yep.
Your take on the game from Drake Maye's performance was?
I thought it was one of his best performances so far. And I know you want to argue with me.
I don't want to argue. Okay. I just have a point.
Go ahead.
Why was it so good?
I just thought he was so efficient. And I thought, as I said earlier, not just with Drake, but the whole team, I think they were a little disappointed how they played in Cincinnati. And it seemed to me like he came out with the intention of I'm going to get back to what everyone expects me to be, what I expect myself to be. And honestly, we talked about this last week. With the new defensive coordinator coming in, you kind of come in not really knowing what this guy's going to do.
I think it was 40% of the time.
They did, and I don't know if you saw it, but there were several times where they were showing blitz zero.
Yeah.
And I saw Drake manipulating the protection a few times. Actually, on the touchdown to Kyle Williams, they show all-out blitz. He changes the protection. They drop out of it, and what the route he had signaled, what he signaled to the front side was not going to be good because they dropped out. He's anticipating all-out blitz. So he's like, all right, well, I know I got my one-on-one here with Kyle. Let me give him a chance. And when Drake throws the deep ball,
it's beautiful.
It's a thing of beauty, especially because it's not like like a Russell Wilson moon ball, but it's also not a flat. It's kind of like the perfect arc and trajectory, and it almost becomes so catchable the way he throws it out there and lets them run underneath it. It's really, but I just saw like the progression of where he's at to where, like, we were there in training camp and we were at the night practice, and he was in there and he was changing protections, he was doing things like that, and to see it out there in a real game where he's seeing it and then reacting to when they didn't do what he expected. All right, I know where I got to throw the football, and then throw it with such precision is incredible. And there was a few other ones where he was checking the plays based on what they were doing, and I think that's what was so great about it. You didn't know going in what the tendencies of this new coordinator was going to be, and he was alert the whole game. There was, the one conversion to Hunter Henry down in the lighthouse, like the red area. Read it to the left.
3rd and 8 or whatever. Came back to
the right. Was going to throw it. Felt the linebacker. Kind of pumped him. The sail route to Hunter. He knew exactly what he was doing. He dropped. He kind of pumped. He stepped up in the pocket.
Held that corner.
Held the corner.
Flat.
It was. You're just seeing a progression of a guy that I have just. It's such admiration for him, because I knew he was going to get there, especially when they hired Josh, and based on what we saw last year. Where he's at now and the confidence with which he plays is really, in my opinion, unprecedented.
Okay, my take was on that. Probably controversial, but it's my show, your show, so we can have our own opinions.
Yeah, we can't always agree.
I wasn't that impressed.
Okay.
And I say that because that's what I expect of him. Like,
you're sounding a lot like Bill Belichick right now.
I know.
I do want to make a point after this that goes along with what you're saying.
And what I mean by that, what he did last night was incredible. But like him throwing that deep ball, how many times have you seen that this year?
A lot.
Were you that shocked that he threw that great of a deep ball? No. Were you that shocked on the play in 2 minutes where the dam kind of broke? It was kind of the worst play of the O-line. Got outside, hit Ramondre, and went for 30 yards? No. I wasn't, because you've seen him do it, right? Yeah. We've seen him do this over time and time again over this season. Now, granted, that is a short sample size, and it's still really impressive, because I said this on 98.5 today. We were kind of talking about it. I kind of brought it up, and that was right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why Danny's laughing.
Shut up, Danny. Just sit in your chair.
We're not talking about how you pronounce 98.5.
Oh, it was just
wrong.
the perfect timing then.
I said 98.5, right?
We were discussing that.
Yeah. But I did it right.
You said it right. Continue with your point.
So we were talking about, like, when Tom Brady, and this isn't comparing Drake to Tom, right? Mm-hmm. But you held Tom to a certain standard.
Yep.
Right? If Tom Brady came in and had that kind of game, if we were doing that back then, how much are you talking about it? Not that much, right? Like, there was probably going to be like 1 or 2 plays.
Yeah, it's the expectation.
Yeah. Like, and that's almost where I've gotten with Drake right now, which is scary. And it's a very unrealistic standard I'm holding him to right now. But he's earned that right, in my opinion.
He's held himself to that standard. And the point that I was going to make off of this, and this kind of goes off topic a bit, because, and we talked about it a little bit last week, like the Shedeur Sanders thing. And because I'm from Cleveland and I played there, I get a lot of questions. I've done some interviews, and people are trying to make like a big deal out of it. Like, he didn't get the game ball when they won the game. And I don't think Braves has given Drake very many game balls this year. Do you see anyone complaining about that?
I think Tom maybe got like...
I know.
I think I probably got more than Tom.
Dude, Tom only got a game ball when he broke like some like NFL record.
We always joked about like game balls. Like, it was kind of like, oh, if it was your contract year and Bill was trying to butter you up, you would give you a lot of game balls or things like that. But no, I mean, look, he's played unbelievable, and I think that is, I don't want to discredit anything he's done.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say that what he's done for this sample size, I just expect him to go out there on Sunday.
I agree.
Be efficient, be accurate, make a couple splash plays that he does, right?
Yep.
I mean, like, these stats, this is what he's done these last 10 games or whatever it's been, and he's thrown the deep ball great all year. Like the Kyle Williams play, that was an amazing throw and catch.
I think
it was more impressive catch because we haven't seen Kyle Williams do a lot of that.
I agree.
We've seen Drake throw that ball, and I don't know what it is about this kid. He loves the left side of that
Yeah, he
deep
does.
ball. I don't know, and I think it probably was supposed to be Booty on that play, but Booty got nicked up the play before. So great job by Kyle Williams going in, being ready. And I think, in saying that about him being ready, that was the case for a lot of guys on this team this week. They used this jumbo tight end, Durden, I think was his name. Learned a lot about him, claimed him off Cleveland's practice squad, was here for a little while in training camp, I guess. And then he was with Josh in Vegas. Like, this dude comes in. He did a great job. They were in an outside zone. He was playing jumbo. He did a great job on the edge. You see guys on defense making plays that haven't made plays. Like I said, Ben Brown, Lowe come in. They do a pretty good job. On this, can I say something? Don't get upset. That kicker reminded me of you golfing. Hit a drive 330 yards, have a 50-yard chip shot. And I would make that joke about me, but that could look about me on any swing. So, but that was you.
Can we just – I feel bad for the guy because did you notice what happened?
For him? He's an NFL player.
No, but I guess people are kind of like, what did this guy do? With the holder the ball started to tilt. And I think the kicker was like, I'm not going to be able to kick it. And then he got it back up, and then it was just, I don't know.
Everybody's got to do their job. I don't know. He plays for the other team. Don't care. Move on. It's just, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun being back in a position when you look around the team and you watch your team play really good football, and then you watch other teams and you just make fun of them kind of, I don't know. But you just saw a lot of different guys come in. And I think, Sarah, to your point, about the locker room and the team camaraderie, when you saw guys that, were practice squad guys, right? Guys that put in so much work and didn't get the glory or weren't active on game day, and they got a shot and they went in there and made a play, like that rallies a team too. When a team's close and like you could see the excitement on those guys' faces for like when Farms, he's tackled the punter on the field goal, like people are all excited. The smiles, like I don't know, that brings me a lot of joy. It just
it's like the unheralded guys when they get their opportunity, and you saw it in Vrabel, like he does like the clap thing, right? And he's like, all right, on the left side, like Lowe and Brown, like 2 claps. Like, what do you think that does for the team, especially going in the bye week? They're like, man, not only did we go out and win, but we won pretty significantly, and we lost our whole left side of the line. Like, that breeds confidence, because even if I shouldn't even say when Wilson and Campbell come back, now we got 2 guys that they're ready to step up when we need them.
And so look, it was a great team win. But let's transition a little bit. This was kind of a controversial point for us.
You guys were having me up way too late, first of all.
I couldn't go to sleep. I felt like I played in the game last night a little bit. Like I was like kind of amped. But, now it's time for our FW Webb Dependable Player of the Game. At FW Webb, people and relationships come first. And you can always depend on FW Webb to find the right products and solutions for your next project. Here's the player the Patriots counted on to bring home the win. It's none other than Marcus Jones.
So deserving.
I thought he was going to break another one.
Dude, he almost did.
That was close. And I guess now he has the record for average punt returns of all time.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Like, this dude, and I think you kind of hit on it earlier. To me, this is kind of like Drake Maye, right? Like, this punt return, he's been doing this.
Yeah.
I'm more impressed with what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball. And I really wanted to, if I was the head coach, I'm giving, everyone on the defense a game ball, everyone on the special teams units a game ball, because the special teams players were special last night. Fumble on kickoff return.
Yeah, another big hit by Elliss.
Yeah, another big hit. Kickoff return to open the game, big, almost on their side of the field. The touchdown by Marcus. Marcus had probably had like 160 yards of returns this week. Like, just all those guys. I'm the head coach, David Andrews, Coach Andrews. Everybody's getting a game ball on those sides of the ball.
You know what I like about this is, and not just we're giving him this award, but Marcus is being appreciated the way he should be. We both played with him, and look, the reality was he was behind a really good nickel corner in Jonathan Jones.
Yeah.
Learn from Jay Jones.
Who learned from kind of like a Patrick Chungish kind of guy.
And I think his time has really come this year, and he's answered the bell, and they rewarded him with this contract. He's a tremendous guy on and off the field, great in the community, loves his cameras and taking pictures. I don't know if you saw this.
He's big into like arts, music.
Yeah.
He does a lot with his foundation with kids and music and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. To me, he's a throwback Patriot player.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is this team is different. We're not in this building. We don't know the culture. I'm sure it's different than the culture we played on. And that's great because this team, look, those banners that are hanging in that stadium, they're important. It's an important part of this team's history. Those banners ain't going to help them win any games going on. There ain't no one left from those. They got to create their own identity, and they've done that. But Marcus, what I mean by I think he's an old school Patriot cog, right? How many players on these teams, right, come in and sure, they have a role, right? Like Marcus's special teams. Let's say Jay Jones, right? Same thing, comes in. Jay Jones was primarily a special teams player his first couple of years, right? Played a little on defense, same with Marcus. Comes in, works his tail off, does amazing in his role, which was, returner and kind of some splash on offense, played a little on defense. And then on top of all the success he's had on the field, he's even a better person off the field. What he does for the community. I know the second most important thing probably behind winning in this organization is what?
Yeah, what are you doing in the community?
Making an impact off the field.
We're wearing the shoes, the Patriots Foundation. It's from the moment you get here, it's volunteerism. When I was here, it was with Myra Kraft, and the Kraft family has kept that going to this day. And so you're right, a guy like Marcus Jones, as good as he performs on the field, he performs just as good off the field.
Yeah, and shout out to Donna and her team, community relations team, what they do, how they help us reach the goals we want to have in the community and help us. So shout out to Marcus. He's getting, I think I was, we were both at the game. I was walking through the club doing something. I think ESPN did like a pregame bid on him.
That's what I was talking about. He was getting interviewed, and he's asking the camera people, like, what kind of lens you got on there? He's like, oh, that's an expensive one.
Oh, really? I didn't get to really see it, so I just heard it when I was walking through the club.
No, when we did this trip to Germany in the spring for this flag football, Marcus was there, and he brought his own. He had like a whole production setup. Yeah, he had his own camera, and then he was coming back and editing it on his computer. But I think it needs to be said. Like, I'm reading these off. All right. One of 4 Patriots to return 2+ punts for a touchdown in the same season. We were guessing it's got to be TB, Troy Brown.
Troy Brown's
got to be
up there.
Maybe Julian, and then I don't know who the other one might be. Maybe they can figure that out for us while we talk. But only player with offensive, defense, and special teams touchdowns since 2022. Because remember, he played a little offense, and that was against Buffalo. They threw him the swing pass, and he took it to the house. 5 non-offensive TDs since the start of 22, second most after Deron Bland. Let's not forget, that's 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks by Marcus. Yeah. So he's become a key cog for that team, for not just the defense, but the special teams. And I think I wanted to ask you to explain to our listeners, what is that feeling? Because as an offense, what do you do when the ball's being punted?
You're getting ready to go.
Getting ready to go, and you see the guy take it. Like, explain the elation on the sideline, because I watched those guys and how excited they were to get that going with Marcus, and you talked about it. That really opened up the game.
Yeah, I think a couple things. One, just on Marcus, and then to your point, I was excited, like, I can't wait to see what Josh does with Marcus this year.
Yeah.
And I will say, I don't think it's Josh not wanting to use Marcus. He doesn't need Marcus, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Like that's not a indictment to Josh or Marcus. Like, you don't need Marcus right now. Like, when you're having to use a DB to try to create offense, that's a little bit of a problem. So, but what that does, this is going to be, I don't know how to explain this. Remember in 2018 when we played the Bears?
CP.
Yeah, CP had the kickoff return.
We had the block punt.
Then we had the block punt for a touchdown. One thing it does, it almost throws off your rhythm a little bit as an offense. We played that Bears game, and I didn't feel great leaving. And I was actually talking to Josh. We ended up winning the game, and I was talking to Josh about it that next week. And he was like, David, look, you got to remember when, you have 2 non-offensive touchdowns, those are stealing possessions. And it does throw you out of a rhythm a little bit. not saying as an offense player, whenever you had a dynamic player touch the ball, you didn't want them to score defensively or offensively. But if you haven't been on the field for a while and you're getting ready to go and you score, now your defense is back on the field. So I guess it's a good problem to have, but it's an amazing feeling because as an offense how hard it is to score, and when you can do it in one play and not step on the field, whether that's a defensive, scoop and score, pick six, or some type of special teams play, that's huge. And look, they call them special teams for a reason because they're special, and the special teams, last night were special. So shout out to Marcus. Is this his second time? Did we give it to him the first time when he had the punt return?
Right?
This might be a two-time award winner.
When he had the other punt return?
And look, this was our conversation, right? You wanted to give it to Drake.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's going to be the MVP.
I mean, yes. And my point in that is Drake could get it every week almost.
Okay, we're not giving it to him anymore.
Maybe
Once he gets 300 yards,
maybe that's the Bill Belichick in me, the Bill Belichick influence.
You know what? I like giving this to Marcus. I think when you look at the context of, the offense went down. They had a good drive. They only got 3.
Yeah.
His touchdown,
it blew open the game.
It blew open the game, and as we said before, it can't go to a more deserving guy.
Yeah, and
that's 2 weeks in a row with the touchdown, one on defense, one on special teams.
Yeah,
and just happy for him and thankful that he's on our team.
That's why I want to give the flowers to him and the whole special teams unit and
Coach Springer,
all the defenses. So that's a wrap on our FW Web Player of the Game. I want to thank our partners at FW Web. On jobs large and small across 16 disciplines, FW Web has the selection, in-stock inventory, expertise, solutions, and people to get the job done right. For more than 150 years, FW Web has been the trusted partners for professionals across the Northeast, delivering what you need, when, and where you need it. Because at FW Web, they believe relationships, trust, and dependable service matter. FW Web, where every customer counts.
All right, we got a fan question here about the bye week. Good one from John Mastrangelo. I think I said that right. Not many were in favor of the late bye, but now that it's here, does it help having it so late, or does it stall the momentum gained from 10 wins in a row?
Would you rather have an early or late bye?
I'd rather have it right in the middle.
No, that's not the question.
I'd rather have, if I'm on a winning team, I'd rather have it late.
Me too. I agree.
When I played for the Browns, we had it like week 4 of the season. And then that made the rest of the season just like a trudge. And so for me, if I'm in the position, and honestly, I think this is the week I had my bye when I was playing in Vegas after Josh got fired. And it was atrocious because it was like, God, I got to come back in 3 more weeks of this. Like, if I'm the Patriots right now, I'm happy that I have the bye. Now, I will say this: we were always a bit sluggish coming off the bye, and so there is an element like
it might have been because we were in full pads like twice.
But I think there is an element where you're in such a routine of playing, and all of a sudden for 5 days you get out of that routine. When you come back, it's like, how do you get back in at full speed? And so it's damned if you do, damned if you don't type thing. You don't get to pick it anyways. I think for the health of the football team, it's great that they've gotten this far with minimal injuries. Now, I didn't know that rule that you have to miss 4 games, not 4 weeks. So it doesn't help with Will Campbell.
But I will say it does help in the sense of now you're just giving him an extra week of recovery.
Yep.
Versus if, and I saw Burt Breer kind of reported on this before the game, I think, that they might have put him on IR to protect him from himself.
Sure.
Which is a good point. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that means he was probably going to
try to fight through it.
And I want to say this in the right way, because I was like this at times. I was an asshole to trainers. Like, hey, David, you need to do this. No, I can do this.
Right.
It's one of those things as an athlete.
You got to have the balance.
Yeah, you wanna get out there, but sometimes that's not good for you, and you need to be. Sometimes you got to put the horse in the barn a little bit, and so I think hopefully I know it's a severe injury, but now this is almost giving him 5 weeks to recover. Same with Milton Williams a little bit. Jared Wilson, who knows, hopefully maybe he doesn't do anything this week, but next week he's at practice, see how that goes. But yeah, I would rather have a late bye on a good team because if you have one early, then those last, if let's say you have it week 4, those 13, that's a haul now. And you have no light. This isn't really a light at the end of the tunnel. I think this is maybe like a...
it's like you're swimming in the pool and you know you got to come up for a quick...
Yeah, this is what, like free diving? Those people that like free dive, like coming to the surface, grabbing a bit of air, and then we got to go back, under the dark abyss. So, gets the team a little air. I think, having the team get some rest, some recover. Look, these guys have been working their ass off, and you got to take a little deep breath here. I think, trying to find that was hard for me, trying to find this balance of like staying in football mode, taking a deep breath, being there for my family, especially once you have kids. You're trying to make up for being away for 3 months in 3 days, so that's tough. But
I don't know about you, but I always felt like you get to like that last day and you're like, all right, I just want to get back.
Yeah.
Like
I always,
because what's ahead, and you're like, all right, it's been great to have a few days where we're not practicing, you're not doing all those things, but you're like, all right, like especially with as excited as they should be, like you almost don't want to leave. No. You want to have the rest, but you don't want to like, miss out on keep building what you're building on. Because I will say, they had a little mini bye after the Jets game, and the one game you'd say that they started off a little bit out of sorts was the Cincinnati game. So hopefully they learn from that. I think the one thing I would say with Vrabel, with the maturity of the team, and then just because we know Josh is very self-critical of his offense in the bye week.
Yes.
He's going to sit there and he's going to say, what tendencies do we have? What are we doing well? What can we get better at?
Those meetings.
Those were tough meetings to have.
When you would come in and you would be playing really good, and especially like we would do stuff, right? Like we were a really good running team one year, right? And so you look at the runs, and then they'd be like, all right, here are our top runs. You're like, hell yeah, like we're pretty good at those. And then it would be like 3 runs. And right, you can dress them up, do a lot of different things with them. And then you would know these are like core runs of your program. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, these are the runs you suck at. And you'd be like 1.2 average, 2.2.
Yeah, sometimes it would be surprising.
And you're like, oh my gosh, like we stink at these. How are we doing so good? But I think I always loved as a player, you were talking about getting back into it.
Yeah.
We did sometimes where we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. I hated that.
Yeah, you'd rather come back Monday.
I really enjoyed as a player having Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Yep. Come in Monday, it'd be a short day Monday, lift, run, like a scouting report on who you're playing. Yep. And we go out and do like kind of a jog through, walk through practice. Go out there, get the pads going, do a little individual, get back into it a little bit versus just coming in on Wednesdays like, hey, full pads or whatever it is, full practice. Yep. I enjoyed having that Monday to kind of get a sweat in, get back in the routine, then have your Tuesday off day so you're still in your, you get back into your normal routine. Yep. And then Wednesdays, you got a little head start, you're ready to go. Right. So that, no clue how they're going to handle it. I'm sure Vrabel, I think he does a great job of listening to his players, communicating with them. So, who knows if they had a little input on that with the leadership, group, however they do it, the captains, like, hey, this is kind of what we like. All right, Vrabel trying to marry what he has in mind to what they like. So, I mean, look, I think the stat is what teams, Vrabel said in his press conference, 16 and 2, I thought.
12.
16 and 12.
Coming off the bye.
Tried to give you the stat.
Yeah,
I said it right.
16 and 12. I thought it was 2, but
it's 12.
I mean, so it's kind of a 50-50.
It's not like
it's a little more than that.
I think a little people think like, oh, you come off the bye, you should be rested, you should come out. Like sometimes it can it can pull you out of that momentum that you have. Yeah. I feel good about the Patriots with the maturity, with the head,
how they've
coaching,
handled everything else.
And it's a huge game when they come back, right? So
they're going to be fired up.
They're going to be fired up. They get to play them at home.
I would be more concerned, like you said, the Bengals, or like playing the Giants.
Yes.
Then, maybe the team, we can beat them.
I think
this is a hat and T-shirt game.
It is a hat and T-shirt game. Do you know what that is, Danny?
No, he has no idea.
Explain it for the fans.
So we used to call, right, you would get into games where if you won that game, the division's clinched. Yep. And we called them hat and T-shirts. We had a hat and T-shirt game in Denver, had a couple at home. We had one in Miami. I think we lost. It was 18. 18 was a hat and T-shirt game.
I remember the equipment guy said they had to go run back in.
Yeah, they had to run back in
off of our lockers.
Yeah, it was the
Miami Miracle.
Miami Miracle. It was a hat and T-shirt game. They went in there and set it all up. Before the trickaroo.
Yeah, do you remember Scotty? He was working the equipment room.
Yeah.
I remember him being like, dude, that play happened, and all I thought was, I have to sprint back in the locker room right now and take all the hat and T-shirts off of, because it would set them up on your locker. Yeah. And he's like, I was probably running faster than Kenyon Drake was trying to get all of those
I don't
off
think
the
it
lockers.
was until we didn't do it. It wasn't in Pittsburgh because we lost that week. It was
at home when
the Jets.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a awesome game. I'll never forget this about the division.
You know what? Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
That I always feel like we kind of miss out on, that you see the NBA or the MLB players
like the beer in the locker room.
Yeah, like the champagne.
I thought that's what it would be like after the Super Bowl. Nope. But I'll never forget in 2020, we were kind of meddling, right? Like we were kind of in the mix a little bit at the end. The Bills weren't great. They were good, but like we had a shot. There were some of us, myself included, had no real idea how you won the division. Like we just didn't because we just did. We just won the division every year. And Jason McCourty was in the locker room, and he was like
explaining it.
He was like, "You idiots! You guys are so unappreciative. You don't even know how it works to win the division because you guys are just used to it."
Yeah.
We were like trying to do the math, and he was like, finally, like stood up and was like, "You dumbasses! You guys don't even know how it works." And I was like, honestly, I really don't, because I just knew we would like play a random team. They'd be like hat and T-shirt game, and then I'd come in, there'd be hat and T-shirts on my chair.
Like, who cares? I beat someone that was in the division.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We get them. You win, you get them. I don't know. So big game coming up. We'll get into more of that next week.
This week's legendary moment presented by Miller Lite. Legendary stories start with the light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time. The 2015 Giants game. David, you were there in person, and the way you described this was a makeshift offensive line going into New York. You guys were 9-0, beating the Giants.
Yeah. Why I picked this game, obviously we played the Giants, and the Patriots were kind of dealing with this last night, right? It was a wild game. I definitely think our season started to take a turn for the worse this year.
I remember watching this game. I was playing for the Texans. I remember Gronk had a long one up the seam at some point,
Gronk
right?
went off this game.
I remember this game.
But we went into that game. So I was starting center. Stork had came back. I was still starting. The next week I got benched. But we started me at center. We put Brian Stork, who was the starting center, at right tackle.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. The inside was probably, I believe it was either Shaq and Trey Jaxson and Josh Klein were probably in there. I think at left tackle was Cam Fleming. Solder had missed the year with a tricep. I think Marcus and Seabass both had concussions.
Did you see Solder last night, by the way?
I did.
Yeah,
I walked in. He was standing right there.
Hard
I was
to
like,
miss.
what are you doing?
I know.
But it was just a wild game. Came down to the end. Steven Gostkowski hit a big field goal to win the game. We had a unreal church situation, which is a term that the team used, right? You got to catch a ball and get down.
Like you're in church, getting down to take a prayer.
So because it's a time management.
Yep.
And it was always great when you sat in like situational meetings, because you saw plays, like we watched this even like my 9th year in the league, right? Because you have all these situations, they don't always come up.
Yeah.
And so when a coach has one, click save on the reel, and that's what stays for a long time. I'm sure there was a lot of plays Josh probably showed when he's going over situations that were from our time
game,
there.
Yeah.
And Danny Amendola and Tom hit a great church situation. But it was a great game of really just guys going out there and battling. And I just thought of the way the team played. Granted, they played a hell of a lot better than we did this game. But, kind of a makeshift O-line going out there, finding a way to win. And like I said, unfortunately for me, I got benched the next week, but I think we played the Bills the next week too, which was
Why'd you get benched?
Why'd I get benched? So I got benched because John Gruden wasn't in the production meeting. No,
Coach
but
Gruden,
I
the
did
old
get
ball
benched.
coach.
So Stork had came back. They let me start for like 2 weeks while he was still back, and then this game happened. So obviously he was playing. So I go into the third game starting with him back, and it was Rex Ryan with the Bills still this year, and Rex was a defensive obviously coach and very extreme on the blitzes, and we just had some mishaps, and as a center you wear a lot of that blame, and I think I'll never forget Tom coming off the field going, "Get him the out of there," and I really don't think I did anything that bad. But yeah, I got benched.
So it wasn't like an Abdul Carter situation.
Danny, no.
Okay. I was just making sure. It was your performance.
What is this situation?
It was performance based. Are you kidding me?
All right, I was just making sure.
At that facility.
You think that he was, looking at the wrong type of material at the facility?
You never know with David, so I was just making sure.
You never know.
No,
yeah.
David was always on time.
Friggin'
always present, always.
You know what they told me?
for.
Seabass told me one day. He said, "You get here when I tell you to get here. You leave when I tell you to leave."
Seabass said that?
Yeah, Seabass. And it was good for me, though. I needed it. We need more. You need more. Sometimes you got to be an asshole. And
that's true.
They were great to me. I love the vets. Him and Wendell, they were.
How many years did you and Wendy play together?
1.
He's doing a phenomenal job.
He's doing an unreal job. We'll get to that around the league.
Yep.
But, Wendy was really hard on me.
Yeah.
But all it did, I'll never forget one day, it was in the preseason, right? You don't prepare a lot for preseason. Wendy made me go up in front of the O-line and give a blitz presentation. I had no idea. No idea what.
That you were going to have to do it.
No, or what the team blitz tendencies were.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that as a rookie. It was very embarrassing. And, I probably was red-faced and things like that. But, it taught me a great lesson. These dudes are depending on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm as a center, you are the resource.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure it does fall on you. Part of that, the Bills, I didn't do a good job communicating, getting guys in the right spot. Even if they messed up, it's your job.
You got benched mid-game.
Yeah. It's your job as the center to do what, right? Same as the quarterback, right? The center and quarterback have a similar role, right? And if the receiver doesn't run the right route, sometimes it's going to be like, "Hey, Hoyer, can you get this guy, what happened?"
No, and Rex Ryan's defense, those were some crazy blitzes and overloads and all of that.
Yeah, but those vets, they were hard on me, but it really helped me out a lot
for your
in
own
my
good.
career. Yeah, it was. We need more of that. Miller Lite just isn't any light beer. It's the original light beer. And when Miller Lite arrived 50 years ago, time became Miller time, and fun nights became stories worth telling. Miller Lite, celebrating 5 decades of legendary moments, because legendary stories start with a light.
All right, Danny, what do you got for us around the league?
Yeah, let's go around the league. It was a busy week in the NFL. Thursday, Thanksgiving football was awesome.
I didn't even know there was a Friday
who
night
won our
game.
Who won our poll?
Bring it up. You know what, Brian? You won. You were plate 3 in our Instagram post.
Okay.
But you kind of cheated.
I took it off. I didn't know that we were supposed to be anonymous. It mattered. Do you think someone's going to vote for me because it's my plate?
I'm gonna go.
Over me. Everyone's not going to vote for me.
Okay, Mac Jones light. Do you think people just don't like you and they're going to vote against your plate?
Yes.
Okay.
We had a gravy mishap. No gravy.
I know, and all I thought about was you said Thanksgiving was everything was a vessel for gravy, and you didn't have gravy.
Gravy is the glue of Thanksgiving.
Dude, can I just say something? First year, I actually ordered this offline, a pre-made cream. It was smoked Gouda cream spinach. It was elite. With all the other things.
We got to get your German heritage out of this
That's
American
not German.
holiday.
That's
David
the red cabbage.
I'm with him on the cream spinach. We just got to get these, German roots out of America.
43% of the vote to number 3 plate. That was Brian. I got 40%. I was the first picture.
I felt really bad
David,
about some
17.
of the comments about plate number 2.
Was I too?
I felt really bad.
I don't care.
Should I read one?
I don't think so.
Dude, I ate standing up, chasing around Ford. Spent most of my night outside while he just caused hell.
Give me the best one about plate 2. Come on.
This one's kind of mean.
I don't give a shit.
Second one looks like it was picked up from the Patriots Thanksgiving laundry basket food drive.
Damn.
Dressing was good. Dressing was really good. The deviled eggs were really good.
The deviled eggs, I did think those were good.
Smoked ham was good.
You just didn't have any color on your plate.
Yeah, we didn't have a green bean
ham and
casserole.
white.
I didn't host, so like it was like 30 people.
One last comment, then we'll get back to football. This comes from our friend Brian Sung.
Sung
hosted us down at Old Sandwich. But number 1 is producer Danny, too fancy and with a Modelo. Number 2 is DA.
You drank a Modelo on Thanksgiving?
The Miller Lights were gone, so it was all we had.
All right.
That's about as bad as Hoy with the German sides.
Oh, my goodness.
Number 2 is DA. Great looking meats, paper plates for easy cleaning because he's lazy.
It wasn't my house. Dude, I don't know. You like in the South, 90% of my Thanksgivings were off paper plates.
I get it. There's a lot of people
having
there.
a lot of people
dishes.
who has 40
Dude, my brother-in-law,
dishes?
he's like OCD. He sat there, and we had, I don't know, probably 15 people. He sat there and washed dishes for like an hour.
Dude, I'm not like I didn't even host, but who wants to do that? Get a paper,
I get it.
Dude. Paper plates are elite, and you know what's best?
Yeah,
a lot
don't
of
worry
times,
about the environment.
A lot of times, people in the South have fires. You just go throw that plate on the fire after.
Okay, keep going.
Last one from Sung right here. Number 3 is Hoyer. Too much going on, but nice presentation.
Okay.
I vote number 3.
Great. That was the winning vote. Thanks, B. Sung.
It was. It really was. All right, Thanksgiving football, though. The first game of the day was NFC. Good game, Packers-Lions. Packers got them, and the Lions now are 7-5 and out of the playoff picture, which is kind of crazy.
A lot of teams, this is kind of my thought, like a lot of these teams and why you feel better about the Patriots. Patriots look like they're getting better, and they're playing good football constantly.
But they're not playing anyone. They got a shitty schedule. Don't forget.
Brian, we can talk about the schedule now. I think we save it, but it's a fact that the Patriots have the easiest schedule in the NFL.
It doesn't matter.
Dude, I'm going to leave our group text if you guys just argue all the time.
By a lot.
We just move on.
By a lot, but continue.
It doesn't
David.
matter. We're not talking about that. I just think there's a lot of teams, the Eagles, the Detroit, I almost said Tigers, Lions, a lot of teams right now. You can throw Pittsburgh, like they've started to fall off. Like Thanksgiving football is where it starts, and a lot of these teams are regressing. I feel like, and
I forgot one name, the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs, it just, you kind of saw the Colts this weekend, like, and then you see other teams kind of hitting their stride. The Cowboys are getting frisky.
I would not be shocked to see the Cowboys making a run if they get in and getting into they made a good trade. They made some good trades, helped their defense out. The offense is
Pickens, Lamb.
Yeah, Pickens, Lamb, Javonte Williams. Yep. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer bringing an element of the running game that hasn't been there. It's been all on Dak's shoulders. They're running the football really well. I mean, it was, I think, Danny, to your point, like, the Thanksgiving games were actually like
great.
They were great. And even the night game, like, did anyone expect Burrow to come back and be like, dude, it was like he never missed him any time. No. It was incredible.
I mean,
Lamar looks off.
I'm not
Lamar's
gonna lie.
hurt. I mean, it's clearly like Lamar is a player, and we talked about this as a quarterback. The way he plays the game, if he's banged up and he's missed practice and he had a hamstring injury, he didn't play a lot of football, like, he just does not look like himself.
No, it goes back to kind of my race car theory, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I don't know about y'all. I had no idea there was a Friday game.
It's the first time this year, I think.
No, last year they had it too.
Oh, they did?
They
Okay.
did?
Yeah.
It really
Amazon
caught
Prime.
me. I came home from deer hunting and saw Ben Johnson taking his shirt off in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they play on Thanksgiving too? Did I miss this one?
The Bears look awesome.
They look good.
That's
now,
a team that you're saying that, is hitting their stride, playing some of their best football.
Number 1 seed in the NFC right now.
It's interesting because the Philly defense had been on a roll. And the one thing Philly's defense kind of dares you to do is run the football. Because they play a lot of too high shows. They ran for like 240 something.
Yeah, 2 guys at over 125, first time in franchise history.
And Caleb Williams is doing okay, but is actually, like, statistically speaking, is not doing as well as he did last year.
I would say, kind of once they started winning, I don't keep up with them.
Yep.
But I would check in, I like to get up on Monday morning or Sunday afternoon and look at, I don't think stats tell the whole picture, but you can get an idea, right? And I like to look at stats. And so I'm looking at the stats, and I haven't looked at one of their wins and been like, dude, this dude played elite. Mm-hmm. It's always like an turnover.
Yeah, they're turning the ball. Like, their defense is leading the league in turnovers by far. It's not even close.
So it's canceling a lot of his out.
He hasn't had a lot, but even Ben Johnson, this is what all you need to know. Ben Johnson, I think yesterday, basically said, not basically, he did say, we're winning in spite of our passing game.
Can I say something? League MVP talk?
Go for it.
Joe Tooney.
Oh, dude.
He wins everywhere he goes.
There was
every team that lets him go. What happened? Joe leaves in after 20. Well, we were pretty good in 21, but a couple of years later we started struggling. Goes to Kansas City.
He leaves.
Elite.
They're struggling.
They leave. They're struggling. Bears are great. Shout out to
How many
Joe,
rings
too.
does he have now? 4.
He has 2 and 2. Yeah.
4.
But he's been to like 6 or 7.
Well, let's talk about the Chiefs for a second, though, because we just mentioned the Chiefs.
We got to pickle our tonsils.
What?
That's what Andy Reid said.
Is that a real thing? He said that. I thought that was
tonsils. There was a lot of wild comments. You had Shelby Harris, saying Juwan Jennings is a hoe.
A hoe.
Like
He seemed like a bad guy a little bit.
Yeah, but did he deserve to get just punched right in the dick and
From
the balls?
what the guys on the other team were saying, yes.
You
can't punch someone in the
Cam
nuts.
Hayward and Josh Allen. I mean, there's a lot of beef going on.
I kind of like it. It's kind of like the old days.
It's a soap opera.
But what I was saying was, Chiefs only, according to ESPN, only have a 41% chance to make the playoffs. They're 6-6 right now. It's pretty much them or the Colts for that 7th seed. So it's pretty.
Well, and they played the Texans this week, right?
Yeah, they do. And the
Texans defense is legit.
Chance.
I mean, that Texans defense.
Yeah, the defense is good.
That's the thing. It's kind of a weird, and this is why like the whole schedule conversation, it really is all for nothing, because this is one of the years of all the years, whether I was playing or now covering, there's really a lot of parity in the league this year.
Yeah.
And there's really not a clear-cut best team, and obviously we're a little biased because of where we played and where we're sitting right now. But when I look around the league, and I watched pretty much a little bit of every game this past weekend, there's not a team that I look at and say they're better than the Patriots.
Well, that's what I said a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is there really like a team where you were scared? Anybody can beat the Patriots. I'm not saying the Patriots cannot show up Sunday at 1 o'clock and roll it out there.
But did you ever feel like that? This is my argument to Danny, and this goes back to the schedule argument.
Did I ever feel like that when we were
Did you
playing?
ever feel like, oh man, we're playing an easy team this week?
No.
I never felt that way in 15 years. And so for people to be like, oh, it's an easy schedule, do you think the Rams suck because they lost to the Panthers? Well, we blew the Panthers out. So like, it doesn't work like that. This is not college football. This is not high school football.
Would say this too, right? You look at the Giants, right? I don't know much about who else is playing that defense. They're not a great defense. You think the O-line was super excited to go play the Giants?
Oh.
With Brian Burns, Sexy Dexy.
Thibodeau
was out.
That's
but
right.
Abdul Carter,
Carter.
like all these guys. No, like each team. And then guess what? You're going to go play another team, right? And you're going to be like, oh, their D-line's okay. But guess what? These linebackers are going to kill you, or these safe, like whatever. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So
it's just to me is like,
I never walked away from a game. Maybe like, playing the Jets or when the Bills weren't good on week 18, where they're just trying to get out of there so they can go to the Bahamas.
Yes.
That I felt like, oh, that was super easy. And those games weren't super easy at the start. It just took you to get up
to break them.
14-0, 17-3, and you're like,
I guess my point is, I don't care if you have the toughest schedule and you win, you're 14-3 and you have the toughest strength of schedule. That means nothing when you get to the playoffs.
No.
That doesn't mean that you're going to win.
The only thing that matters.
When I think my second year in the league in 2010, and you guys would have to fact check this, I think we were 14-2, and we got absolutely trounced by the Jets in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, it literally means nothing.
No, the only thing that matters is execution in the playoffs. It's the only thing that matters. Performance at 1 o'clock on Sunday, or whenever the game is.
Yeah.
So
14-2 is correct. I got an interesting stat for you. It kind of goes against my point here, Brian. But current playoff teams, so in the current playoff AFC picture, the Patriots have played 2 playoff teams. They're 2-0. The Broncos are 1-2. The Jags are 2-2. Ravens are 1-2. Chargers are 1-2. Colts are 2-1. Bills are 2-1. So no one's really played anybody.
Well, and that's why, like, to me, it's just, and look, we're small. It's just the 3 of us here, but like, it's been a national conversation. Like our buddy Cam has said, the Patriots are fool's gold. Like it really, and we'll get to this because we're going to have this opportunity because the Patriots are going to the playoffs. And when we get there, you and I can really break down what the message was when, at least when we were playing, what the playoffs really mean. And that's to me like the whole argument. And this is my point, Danny. You can't say you're not afraid of anybody, but then also say, well, we haven't played anyone, so I don't know how we're going to do against a good team. Like that, to me, that's speaking out of both sides of your mouth.
To me, the only thing, let's say the Patriots go to the AFC Championship and play the Broncos, right? And they lose. Are you going to say they lost in the AFC Championship because they didn't play anybody?
No.
You're going to say they lost because they didn't play good?
That day.
Yes.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we haven't really played anyone, and I'm still nervous when we do play someone in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. I think we're the best team in football besides the Rams.
To me, next week, you're playing the other best team in the AFC.
Yes, I agree. The Bills scare the hell out of me. Even if we beat them in 2 weeks in Gillette, I will still be scared if we see the Bills.
I'm not scared. It's you got to stop using that word.
I know I guess that's what bothers me. Scared is a bad word.
Scared is such a bad word.
Nervous, anxious.
Nervous is the same thing.
I would say I respect.
Anxious is worse.
I say I respect.
Sure, respect's better. I respect the Bills. The Chiefs scare me. All right, I respect.
But I'll tell you this about the Bills. I'm much happier that we get to play Sean McDermott than Mike Vrabel.
That's true.
I can't believe the Titans let Mike Vrabel go.
It's just dumb.
Can't believe it.
Any other games that piqued your interest? I mean, the Bills, they broke a record. I think the most rushing yards an opponent has had against the Steelers it used to be Heinz Field. It was Acrisure Stadium or something now.
That's
and
correct.
The most that the Steelers have given up since 1975 in Pittsburgh.
To me, if you're that's where the Bills get dangerous.
Yeah, if they can run the football.
Yes.
Their defense this defense just seems off to me.
No, but the Bills running the football is a very, and I just said don't use the word scared, but if that becomes a scary two-headed monster you have to defend. And that's what the Patriots did so well in the first game, was making Josh Allen have to beat you. And that's very hard to do.
The Texans, to say the word scared, their defense scares me.
The Texans are frisky.
They just beat the Colts, and the Colts are on a fast track to not make the playoffs.
The Texans, to me, tickle my tonsils, which I love that term now, and I'm going to use it.
Can you explain what that means?
I don't know. Ask Andy Reid.
But you just said that they tickle your tonsils, so what does that mean?
I don't know.
They get you going a little bit.
Yeah, they just
Oh, God.
How about the Broncos win on Sunday Night Football against the Commanders OT?
Can Marcus Mariota just loft the ball so we can be in, number one seed? No, the thing about the Broncos, to me, the defense is elite.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, it's like one drive to the next, you don't know what you're going to get. He has a phenomenal drive. Like
box of chocolate.
The one before the half, he makes this incredible touchdown. And then, later in the game, he throws it right to Bobby Wagner. So it's like, look, I'll take Josh McDaniels against that defense, and I'll take our defense against Bo Nix.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's one of those things. You make Bo Nix try to beat you, and you don't let the defense help. You don't give a pick six. You don't turn the ball over to that defense. You don't let the defense ruin the game.
Yep.
All right. That's a wrap on Around the League. Feels good to have a next week, Sunday football again when the Pats have number one seed and we don't have to play football.
What do you mean? Like the bye week. I thought you were
We have the number one seed right now and we don't have to play football next week.
Yeah, it's a good position. It's a good
Who
problem.
do the Broncos play this week, Danny?
Broncos play... Let's see.
Chargers?
Titans?
They play the Raiders in Las Vegas, 4:00.
All right. Well, they will be tied, or they have the tiebreaker over us right now, right?
Yeah, if they win, they have the one seed
Okay.
back.
All right.
Packers, Bears is a good football game.
Who's the best team, in your opinion, that the Denver Broncos play the rest of the year?
Let me look at their schedule.
They play the Chiefs again, right?
Well, then obviously the Chiefs.
Chiefs, Chargers.
But do they play the Chargers again? How about Herbert, dude? Breaks his hand, finishes the game, right?
He did.
And then had surgery on Monday, and they said he may play next Monday night.
Yeah.
This dude's tough. Remember when we were going to play them, and he was talking about Herbert?
He loved
He's
Herbert.
like, this is the best quarterback I've seen since Dan Marino.
I thought you said Peyton.
No, Dan Marino.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Denver has a tough schedule. They play the Raiders. That's a win. Play the Green Bay Packers the week
Ooh,
after.
that's going to be a great game.
And then they play the Jaguars. Tough. They're frisky. Chiefs, Chargers. They are going to trip up.
Would you say
Speaking of Packers,
would you say the Jaguars tickle your tonsils?
I don't know about them, dude.
Trevor Lawrence is a roller coaster.
Honestly, I haven't watched them enough to see what their defense is. But
agree.
the Packers-Bears game is a huge game this week
Yeah, huge.
in Lambeau.
Yeah, big game.
I'm not a believer in the Packers.
I am.
Well, I have a feeling that the Patriots are going to go above and beyond my high for their win total because I said 12 games, and I think it could
When
be
did you
14.
say 12 at the start of the year?
I said that I thought the ceiling was 12, yeah.
He's making things up now.
No, I didn't. Go back to WEEI, or David might say WEEI.
Whoa, he's coming at you.
I don't care.
Big game, the loser of Thursday Night Football, Cowboys, Lions,
Yeah.
out of the playoffs pretty much,
Really?
Wow.
essentially.
Where is that game?
It's in Detroit.
A big game for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
If they win that game, you better watch out.
Yeah.
George Pickens.
Colts, Jags game this week too.
That's big.
Winner of that, I would say, probably.
This is what's best about football is when you get to this point and there's a lot of these meaningful games.
Jockey.
Yeah.
Ravens,
Like
Steelers, again, huge
Yep.
game. And then Chiefs, Texans on Sunday Night Football.
Yep.
Eagles, Chargers, Monday Night Football. We got a good slate.
Let's go. Well, we
And
don't have to
wait,
watch the
before we
Patriots.
get out of here, college football. We got conference championships. We got
freaking
Bama,
love
Georgia
college
this weekend.
football.
We got Lane Kiffin going to LSU.
Ohio State playing Indiana. Is that what
Indiana, 1 versus 2.
That'd
for
be
the Big
big.
Thank
Ten
God
championship.
Ohio State's finally playing somebody. They played one good game.
Yeah, talk about a
this
schedule. I know.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, college is different, Danny.
But I will say this Kiffin stuff has I don't know, man.
I'm not that bothered by it. Maybe
not
I'm not
bothered-
an SEC guy.
I'm not bothered by it, but like I don't know, maybe
He's done this. I mean, he's bounced around from place to place.
he has done this. It's to me. I read an article last night, and I don't know, Hoy. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I think in his mind, it's going to be easier to win a national championship for a couple different reasons at LSU than it would Ole Miss. And they were talking about Bob Stoops at Kentucky, right? A hard place to win,
Yep.
but he built a great program, and he ended up, not leaving for Texas A&M. I guess he had an interview there, didn't get the job, and I guess from what I read, Kiffin was scared to end up and be like Bob Stoops, like
Mark Stoops.
Huh? Mark Stoops?
Mark.
Yeah, Bob was at Oklahoma.
yeah.
Right? Yeah, Mark.
Brother.
His brother.
Great
yeah.
Ohio football family, by the
Which
way.
I really respected. Mark played against his Kentucky teams, and they were tough, but it was Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Kiffin thought. It's just, I don't know.
I just wonder in this current landscape, and this is where he would know better than anyone, what's the support from Ole Miss, from the NIL, from the infrastructure, as opposed to LSU? To me, if you just said straight out the bat, who do you think has a better chance of being a sustainable contender for national championship? I would say LSU, based on the history.
Yeah, and I
based on
think
all
a
those
little bit
things.
you look at that on the NFL landscape with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel was probably, you would say, him and Ben Johnson were 1 and 2 on coaches, right?
Yep.
And it was talked about Vrabel with the Jets. If you're Mike Vrabel and you're sitting there and Drake Maye didn't have a great year last year. No one thought he was going to be what he was going to be this year, but you saw a lot of the potential.
Yeah, and you had at least some kind of an answer who was
Yes.
going to play.
What? I mean,
And I would say the
And take
stability
Vrabel-
of the organization.
yeah, take Vrabel and his connection to the organization out of it. Let's just say he had no business here before. You're sitting there looking at it, and like you said, the organization stability,
Yeah.
the chance of a winning pedigree, championship pedigree,
Yep.
that would play into
Dude,
your.
if I'm looking at the Kraft family as opposed to Woody Johnson and his sons who are telling what players they should bench and play
Yeah.
based on their Madden ratings, who do you think that I'm going to pick?
No.
To
I'm
your
sure.
point.
I'm sure if it was, let's say Mike was at Tennessee and you could do this with coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
If Vrabel, eventually it's not about the money, right? Because if you say, hey, Tennessee, Patriots are going to pay me X, I want to be paid the X. But then you go to it and you're like, what's a better chance at winning? And what organization has got a bigger pedigree? You would naturally say the Patriots over the Titans.
Yep.
And same with LSU over Ole Miss. It is just funny, though. I've seen the clips of the European mind couldn't understand college football. And I don't think a lot of people do. It is just
I saw a tweet
wild.
today and it was the state of Louisiana is going to pay, because they still got to pay Brian Kelly.
Yeah,
whatever the
52
X amount of millions are, and
million.
the literacy rate in Louisiana is below whatever.
Yeah, that's the South for
Just
you,
means
man.
more.
It just means more. It does. The SEC, it just means
The people
more.
in Massachusetts can't comprehend that.
No, they can't. It's wild. I love college football, though. Georgia, big game.
Dude, you know who I
Huge.
picked for the Natty.
Yeah, I do like your pick. We didn't play great, which makes me.
It's just going to be inevitably. It's probably going to come down to Ohio State and Georgia. I mean, depending on whether it's, I don't know how the playoffs are going to pair up, but it's going to be two really good defenses, and then it's going to be offensively who can.
Georgia has a mental block, and maybe this is like Patriots with the Broncos. Like, we have a mental block with Alabama, I feel like. So hopefully we get over that this weekend. But yeah, I think that's a wrap on episode 13. 14 of the Quick Snap. I'm getting lost in the
bye
sauce.
week. Sorry, you're already thinking about your vacation plans.
No, I took my bye week already last week. But some people still work on their bye week like me. Shout out.
Danny tried to take that seat real quick.
Dude, the hardest working podcasters here, you know. I don't see Phil. Phil and Tom probably couldn't make it.
I haven't seen them late.
They couldn't make it because the weather this week to work. You know,
they did a show last night after the game.
Yeah, no, but the weather now, they're too scared to make it with the weather, you know.
I hear you.
All right.
So that's a wrap.
Enjoy the bye week.
We'll
be back for Buffalo Prep next week.
Yeah. See y'all next week.
All right. Catch us on NBC Sports Boston Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and anywhere else you find your podcast, Spotify, YouTube, iPodcast.
No.
What is it? iTunes?
Just Apple.
Apple Podcast. So appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you next week.